Well, in Colorado courts, the court can appoint experts to come in, evaluate a situation, and then make recommendations to the court. So one of the ways that that happens is through a CFI, a child family investigator. It's a form of custody evaluation. There are two types of custody evaluations that are done in Colorado. There's the CFI, and there's a PRE, which is a parental responsibilities evaluator. Now, a PRE is a mental health expert, whereas a CFI can either be a mental health expert or an attorney with expertise in these situations, family law situations. So I do, as an attorney and not a mental health provider, I do CFI work. And so a CFI is meant to be a fairly limited scope. So it's not a wide-ranging investigation where you do mental health evaluations and substance abuse evaluations and very extensive and in-depth. That's more of what the PRE evaluation is about. CFI is for a little more limited scope. Maybe just parents can't agree on a parenting schedule. They can't agree on what's best for the kids. So that judge could appoint a CFI to go in and talk to each of the parents, talk to the children, and maybe some other people that know the family well, and make a recommendation based on all of that regarding what's best for the children. So it's usually a shorter duration and a more limited scope investigation. You have to have a CFI appointed by the court. So you can't just go out and pick a CFI and bring them into court with you. You have to ask the judge to appoint your CFI. And the judge can only appoint a CFI that's on the 4th Judicial District's list of approved child family investigators. So if you haven't even started your divorce proceeding yet, it may be a little premature to start looking into CFI, but once you're into the case and you realize that you and the other parent are not going to be able to agree on parenting or some issue about parenting, you may want to consider child family investigator. And you'd simply ask the court by writing a motion to appoint a child family investigator. And then that investigator writes a report and gives it to the court. One thing that is a really big benefit about having a child family investigator instead of just having each of the parents get up and testify is that as a parent on the witness stand, you can't tell the judge what your child said. It's hearsay. So there's not a good way to get a child's voice heard in a normal court proceeding because it's almost always going to be considered hearsay and therefore it's going to be inadmissible. Well, in a child family investigation, the child's voice gets to be heard because the investigator speaks with the child talks to the investigator, and then the child's wishes and thoughts and desires get put into the report, which then goes to the judge and the judge will consider.